was a typo, and I'm like, welcome to Comics League Movie Night. I am Jared, and today we are discussing the Red Sonja 2025 movie. Now,
Surprisingly better movie.
Very much a better. Now, it feels cheap. Let me be very clear.
Yeah. Oh, it wears its price tag on its sleeve. Let's be honest.
However, here's the thing. The reason why it doesn't really bother me is like, yeah, it looks cheap. Some of the CGI looks okay, but it's like it's not as horrible as people represented it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Like it's no Flash CGI. Let me put it to you that way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So this is like so with this one, the director straight up said that she was adapting the like Gail Simone like comics, and you could definitely tell that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. And you know what? Interesting little behind the scenes thing I found about that the actors who played hold on, let me double check which the character. I'm just blanking on the character right now. Petra,
Mm-hmm.
the snarky veteran.
Mm-hmm.
That was Rhonda Mitra. She was the model for Lara Croft.
Oh, really?
And she was actually going to be Red Sonja back in the a previous version. But two factors. One, she got too old, by which you can kind of tell. But also, she has an autoimmune condition that prevents her from doing that many stunts.
The other thing is, by the way, so there was a series of short like fan edits that basically took Brandon Routh and Christian Bale and made them like Superman and Batman in one world, and they did the Doomsday storyline with Superman. She was Wonder Woman in that. Which I could see her playing Wonder Woman, but the point is, so with this, so this is obviously very much more in line with the comic Sonja. And here's the other thing about this. So they do homage the bikini suit, but when she actually fights, she still has that, but it's a bit more practical.
Yep.
Because in this era of Hollywood, I didn't expect them to go full on with the chainmail bikini, because if they actually did that, it wouldn't be practical to wage war in.
By the way, interesting thing I just found out. You know what? Three other actresses were in the running for Red Sonja before this.
Well, I know one of them was Ghost from Ant-Man.
Yeah, but there's also Rose McGowan, Amber Heard.
Oh, dodged a bullet there.
And Jamie Alexander.
Jamie Alexander. People keep trying to cast her as like Wonder Woman or like.
I think she's kind of reached that age where she might do it, but you know.
And plus, I can't see Jamie Alexander playing Wonder Woman. People just go off of the way she plays Sif. That's the only reason why, even though Sif is a completely different character than Diana.
Exactly.
But so the way this movie is done, the other thing the thing that this movie drastically changes. So in the actual comics, the origin for the most part is, hey, what's up, Hunter? Is that Sonja is like in her village. The village is attacked. Her parents are killed, and she is R-worded. And then she gets powers from a goddess and that basically say no man shall have you unless they can defeat you in combat. In this, they take out the R wording part, which I'm like, yeah, I'm fine with them changing that part.
That was the actress. That was the actress's actual doing. Originally, it was supposed to be leaning more into the sexual politics of the era, but she decided she didn't want that, so that's why they put more green ass up onto it.
Well, and that's the other thing about this movie. You would expect, particularly with Hollywood, that it would lean into the girl boss stuff. It really doesn't.
Not really, no.
That's the funny part about it, because it feels, honestly, and there's a reason why I put this phrase in the thumbnail. It's kind of like a more savage version of the Wonder Woman 2017 movie.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Obviously, the Wonder Woman movie is the superior film, but you know what I'm going for here.
I'll say this also. They took a lot from Conan.
Oh, yeah. There's like, because the director was also a fan of the previous Red Sonja movie.
Yep.
And the other
I
thing
don't know how.
Hey, what's up, Thoth? I know. The other thing I really like about this movie, and it's the same, it's some of the praise I gave to ZSJL, is so the soundtrack for it, because it sounds very like Ancient Warrior like stuff,
Yeah.
like the like chanting and the vocals. So I'm like, okay, you understood the assignment.
Yep, definitely.
But the plot basically is, so she's like exploring the woods and she's like a drifter essentially. Then she is like captured and turned into a gladiator. That's where the suit, the like chainmail bikini actual one comes from, because she gets that from like the quartermaster of the gladiators, and she goes, will this protect me? No, but the crowd will love it.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, hey, that's very WWE of them.
Definitely.
And so then what happens is she fights in the gladiatorial pits. And then this whole time, this dictator creates like this device that he puts on Cyclopses and then mind controls them.
Mm-hmm.
And so she fights. And I like where she jumps up, takes the device off in a pretty awesome fight. And then like convinces him to like take out the entire gladiator pit.
Yep, agreed.
And it's so basically the rest of the movie is they engage in combat against like magic. Sonja is killed, and then we get the goddess coming to her and giving her like her powers and stuff. So basically, this is like an origin story for Red Sonja.
That which you can explain again with how the chainmail bikini is handled. Which, let's be honest, let's also be honest about the chainmail bikini. It's what she's known for, but it's also her most controversial element.
Well, think of it this way. They still put her in a bikini-like outfit that's more armored. I'm fine with you having for lack of a better term, modernize it. At least you didn't crap on it and like this way. The previous movie didn't crap on it, but it didn't have it. At least with this, they have something that approximates it.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Like here, I'm going to pull up a picture of it and why it actually works. Okay, so here's the thing. So here is the costume. And this is where I'm like, okay, I see what you went with. And I think that is like the best compromise, because if you look at it here, hang on. You look at it here.
Oh, yeah. That looks much.
That's close enough.
Compared to, hold on, I got a good image of the comic one.
Yeah, it's like, as far as adaptations, I'm like, you got the basic plot. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Oh, also they cast someone that looks like Red Sonja, because I'm sorry, the woman. Hey, what's up, NJ? The woman from Ant-Man does not look like Red Sonja.
I mean, compared to this.
Hang on, it's not allowing me to add it.
What? That's weird.
So before presenting, hang on. It says before presenting, remove. Oh, that's why. Sorry. All right. Yeah. Exactly.
Look how impractical that is.
And and this is the same reason why Britt and I are against the bikini suit being used for Wonder Woman in movies, because that would hypersexualize the actress. It still has that, but it's significantly lessened.
And let's be honest, she has a good figure, one that you can believe as a gladiator. It isn't just the curvaceous, knockout.
For lack of a better term, she still has she still is well endowed. So
yeah, but the armor covers it up, which it should, as opposed to what I just showed, where you're just like, ah.
Yeah, the point is, what this does is this still leans in on the actual character. She looks like the character, like a good modernized. There's a good modernized and there's a bad modernized.
Yep.
And
exactly.
And Lord Thoth says she wasn't a bad casting. The movie was pretty awful. I'll disagree. I still enjoyed the movie a lot, but as far as I've said this to actually Robert before we went live. Compared to the previous one, this is the Zack Snyder's Justice League of
compared to it.
Let's be honest. You got to be fair on that.
Yep.
And honestly, yes, you could see some of the cheapness in it, but here's the thing about it. It's a sword and sorcery movie that doesn't necessarily use a ton of sorcery.
Exactly.
So do you really need that big of a budget for this?
Well, to be fair, from what I've heard, it has a budget lower than even the previous movie.
Yeah, slightly
And,
smaller.
and I know, and I mean that. Remember, that is taking not taking into account inflation. So, but if you take into account inflation, the original one cost more than this one did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. But yeah, but it's
Like
like
on both
this.
levels. By the way, I'm looking over images of Red Sonja, and you know what? Looking over it now, I can understand why there are people who are cringing every time they see that outfit, that bikini, because there's some types where it's just like, okay, can't they redesign the bikini a little bit?
See, here's the thing about that. That's a perfect occasion of, and we talked about this last night for CLD, where some things just don't translate well from page to screen because it works as a comic book design. Let's face it, it works on the page. On the screen, what they did in this movie is much better.
Definitely.
But
Oh,
at the very least, at least they had it in the movie, right?
exactly. Ooh, I just found a Michael Turner Red Sonja.
Oh, please share, because Michael Turner drawing any female character is instantly like the best thing of all time. There you go. I love this image of Red Sonja. I'm going to keep that up. But yeah, it's like,
Yep.
it's like,
I want to show very quickly. There's Amanda Connor.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing when you, with this.
But you look at it, I'm like, I like it, but I go to see why it keeps on having the controversy because it's so impractical.
Yeah, at least with the other one, it's like, because again, this is what I always say. When you're making a live action movie, you have to go for the general audience, and the general audience is not going to buy that.
No, they're not. Again, especially when it's just like so much skin is available. It's just like, what's that bikini going to do?
Well, it's like, and again, at the very least, they had that costume in the movie as an homage. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the other thing people have to remember. Someone like Conan with the big muscles and all that, you can buy it because you can saying, oh, his muscles will protect him from it.
Well, do you know why Sonja has that design?
Fan service?
No, what the original intention was for that, why they put her in the bikini?
Mm-hmm.
Because they wanted her to, because you know how Conan is most of the time just in the loincloth?
Yep.
They wanted to kind of do a female version of that. And they can't obviously have her walk around topless.
Obviously not.
Yeah, so it's like, so in light of that, I get it. But yeah, again.
But you get what I'm saying though still, right? Yeah. With Conan, you can buy, those muscles can handle a blade cut unless he's been driven through.
Yeah, but and again,
but with a woman big body, no matter unless they're uber jacked too, you're not going to buy it.
Well, and again, it's like if that works for the comic book version of the character, that's totally fine. But in terms of live action, I think they got a pretty good compromise.
Agreed. Very much agreed.
Yeah, and as far as like the action scenes in this movie, pretty solid in terms of like the actual sword combat. I liked where she keeps trying to climb out of the gladiatorial pit, and she even kills some of the guards. You can see their bodies falling down.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly, Lord. Exactly.
Thought that some comic books just don't transfer well into live action. Yeah, exactly. And this is one that you can transfer it over. You just have to slightly modify certain things like the more armored bikini. Yeah, it's like Vampirella. Vampirella, I don't think you could translate well into live action. And they did that, remember?
Hold on. Let me find that out again, show people.
Before you ask, I don't think we'll do Vampirella.
No, by the way, but yeah, remove the image a moment so I can search it, and I'll let you know.
Yeah, go ahead. But yeah, Vampirella, you really can't, and it's like, look, ultimately the way that ultimately, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, here.
Yeah, that doesn't work. That does
not work at all.
And before anyone says anything again, no, that looks like an adult parody.
But it was serious, and that's Katana.
Yep. By the way, again,
wait, I want you to look at this one image. She looks fine here.
Yeah, I want to emphasize this. We're not covering that movie.
Nope, I have no interest in it.
No, me neither. I covered Red Sonja because, well, partly because of the Wonder Woman-ness of it.
Apparently, Vampirella would have been made by Hammer at one point. It never happened, but they considered it.
Really?
Yeah.
But yeah, so but the interesting thing about this movie is like again, what I'll say is again, is it a perfect movie? Nope. Nope, not at all. However,
No.
when you look at it in context, it's like, all right, fine. Mortal Kombat can work. However, you have to go all in parody. It doesn't work. Like, there's no way you can make a good PG-13 Mortal Kombat movie.
Agreed.
Because part of the fun is the executions. Let's
Now,
be
be fair. With Mortal Kombat, Paul W.S. Anderson did a pretty good job with what he did with the first one.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Let's be honest, that was pretty decent.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Like, I gotta be honest. We're going back to what I just said about Vampirella. If Hammer done it, Hammer would have been perfect for it. Have you ever looked up how Hammer was known for?
Mm-hmm.
The blood and sex of vampires. They're the ones who gave us Peter Cushing and that's the one where we had Christopher Lee as Dracula.
Yeah, okay, I see.
So that type of stuff, I'm like, oh, they would have been perfect for Vampirella back in the 70s.
Yeah, exactly. But
Never happened though.
Yeah, exactly. But also, the other reason I wanted to cover this movie, by the way, is in light of the DCKO crossover. Because it's like Red Sonja versus Wonder Woman, which again, that was one of those examples. So people blasted that issue, which first off, I still enjoyed it. I don't think it was as bad as people say.
It was meant to be some less for DC and more for them. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's free. It's promotion for those publishers for their
The fact they approved of it, so many people approved of it still baffles me.
Yeah, there was like a lot of those where I'm like, oh, you got them. Okay, then.
Exactly. And apparently that Vampirella movie would have had Peter Cushing in it.
Oh, okay.
Moff Tarkin from the first Star Wars movie.
I can see that. Problem is, it needs to be hard R, and that limits your audience significantly. Yeah, for like Mortal Kombat and stuff. Yeah, that's the problem with that.
Again, here's the thing though. When you go to a movie, you're going to a movie for a story. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have hard R for a movie with a story.
Like you can, but it's like you really need to like play around with it, I think.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying for Mortal Kombat, there'll be probably less enough violence so they can tell a story that you can get a low R. Because
let's face it, most people play Mortal Kombat for the violence. But the only cast members from the Off of Vampirella movie that I knew was Roger Daltrey from The Who. Oh, okay.
Yep.
But yeah, it's like going back to this. The other thing about this is like I felt that they made good use of the rating.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Because it didn't feel gratuitous so it's rated R, but it's like that's mainly for the blood and gore. But I really feel and the temptation, which I'm glad they didn't like do it, was to go full on into like sex and all that stuff, which they didn't do, which that it's like with Red Sonja, they could have.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so what other questions do you all have about Red Sonja? Because while I have a bunch of her comics because I enjoy the character, it's not as one of the characters that I'm very like.
Here's the question I asked: did you ever read any of Gail's run? Because I was going to ask, who do you think that she did? Who did you think she did better, Wendy or Sonja?
Okay, that's a good question. So I read a good portion.
Because I heard her run was pretty controversial, but also beloved.
Her Red Sonja run was really good. Yeah, really enjoyable. You know why? Because she was the one that basically took a more comedic take with Sonja.
Had her be drunk all the time, I heard.
Yeah, and she undid the whole she can't sleep with someone unless they defeat her in combat.
Right.
But
to be fair, I'm not surprised Gail did that. I am not surprised Gail would do that.
Yeah, exactly. But in terms of like comparing her Wonder Woman run to Sonja,
or is it apples and oranges? You could be honest.
Apples and oranges, but honestly, I enjoyed her Sonja run more because I have more of an emotional attachment to Diana. Obviously,
I figured.
That's kind of my thing. But it's like let me put it this way: she didn't have like Sonja only be with someone for reproduction purposes.
Okay.
Like, I know that could have been like DC saying break them up, but you could have picked a better way to break them up.
Oh, I will not argue that part.
Yeah, but it's like, because Red Sonja is one of those characters. So here's the thing. Sonja and Xena, more so Sonja, are what a lot of writers like Tom King and all these guys think Wonder Woman is.
Why don't we talk about that?
Let's go ahead.
Let's talk about this. Something you and I have talked about recently. What do you think has probably been the biggest problem with Wonder Woman since Gale's run? Let's just be blunt.
Hang on, I'm gonna do. Oh, I know exactly what you're getting to. Hang on, I'm just setting up. Red. Hang on, I'm making a banner. All right, yeah. So let's do this. But Barry, real quick, how do you rate the Red Sonja movie out of 10?
I give it a good 7 to an 8.
7 out of 8. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Like more 7 than 8, but still. I'm sorry, the graphics still.
The graphics are what brings it down, but everything except for like the real visuals, I'm like, okay, I'm fine with it.
The acting, you could tell they were actually taking it seriously. Well, most of the people were. Some of the acting was wooden.
Yeah. All right. So here's the thing. So one of the problems that like at least Robert and I have identified, because a lot of writers treat Wonder Woman like she is the straight up warrior. Like, I'm sorry.
Or she's just the icon.
Yeah, because here's the problem. The minute that checked me out of King's run as like he only sees her as a warrior is when she made the Sovereign carve lyre onto his chest. Sonja would do that 110%.
Oh yeah, but
Wonder Woman, no.
But even when she's not the warrior, it's the icon. And when you really, by what I mean by, okay, AJ, what do you think I mean when I say the icon? What do you think I mean?
The feminist icon, the woman that like all I am woman, hear me roar, like icon.
Yep, exactly that, and also just being Wonder Woman, being a hero of the world, not a specific city.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'll be honest, I get why they've distanced themselves from it for a while, but that was a problem.
Yeah, exactly. Now, and here's the thing. The way that I think, because they need to go back to Wonder Woman being a straight up superhero.
Yes. Give her an identity again. Give her something to ground her back to humanity.
Yeah, exactly. Because the thing is, it's like you could do the identity or do like the, what's the word? Ambassadorship, something like that.
Or that. Either one of those.
In other words,
city. Don't just ever go to the island to calm down and hang out.
In other words, here's the thing. Rob and I had previously talked about this, so I'm going to say something. Hear me out on this. They need to treat her like female Superman. What I mean by that, let me be clear. What I mean by that, obviously still have her be Wonder Woman stuff. But, okay, what do we mean, Robert, when we say have her act like Superman?
And then have her save the day. Have her go around stopping crimes when big monsters. Give her some fantastical enemies to actually fight, not just political,
Yeah, like not the sovereign or
going overseas and saving women from being beaten. I mean, that's a good thing.
That's one thing.
Wrong. But don't let that be her focus.
Yeah, and then Cameron says, I've always felt like they could utilize more Greek mythology characters. You could do that, but let me put it this way. The other thing is, like, if you're going to treat her like a superhero, also use more of her. Because here's the thing. If I were DC editorial, one of the things I would tell any new writer, at least for right now, don't make up any new villains. Use her villains that we already have. Because all that's doing is diluting. And MJ, yes, 100% absolute Wonder Woman is that. She is the superhero.
Yep, and here's the other thing as well. Now, here's something else you could tell them. You can redefine old villains.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be honest. That's why I wasn't up initially. Until we saw the execution, I was not initially at the idea. I was not upset at King wanting to redefine Ratman. Of course, or Mouseman. It went the wrong way. But initially, I'm like, well, at least he's not making a new villain. But you get my point still.
Yeah, exactly. Because here's the thing. It's like some Wonder Woman rogues definitely need an update. Don't get me wrong. But it's like if you properly utilize them, you could make a compelling story with any of her villains. Any of them.
Kamiya, any of the others. And I'll tell you this. The one character still, so it's going to be hard to do anything with Dr. Psycho because of just what's ingrained in its character.
Oh, yeah, the Me Too stuff.
Yep. Okay. And now, now I'll be honest. Cersei seems to always be the default too. Besides Cheetah, if it's not Cheetah, it's Cersei. I feel we gotta give some of our other villains more of it. Like bring Dr. Poison
or Hecate.
Yeah, Hecate. Yep.
Hecate. This is the other thing that Wonder Woman needs. She needs to be the character headlining a line-wide DC event.
Not just tacked on.
Not just tacked on. It needs to be a Wonder Woman event that everything, because the last times they did that was Amazon's Attack, the original.
And you know what? Jared and I talked about this. I know I mentioned on the show where Hecate could work, but here's this.
Go ahead.
Hecate teaming up with the Upside Down Man.
Yeah, from Justice League Dark, because
she was tied into that. Diana was tied into it. She counts.
So we're reading this. I'm reading this, and so it clicked with me because I'm like, with Hecate, you could have it where she's going around putting the witch mark on a lot of different characters, creating sleeper agents. Then all of a sudden, when the event starts, it starts. And the event, you could just reuse the name, The Witching Hour.
Yep, but you can make it a bigger event.
Because it could have been a larger, and by line wide, I mean literally line wide.
You can have other, and you can have it be, it can interrupt the other characters. They're like,
yeah, exactly. And if they're mind controlled, you don't have to worry about them acting out of character.
Exactly. And heck, maybe you can have some do get killed, have to die because they're too taken over.
Yeah, and then you could have Wonder Woman even team up with Cersei because Cersei's like, you can make Cersei at first the cause of it, and then she has to team up with Diana because she goes, this is getting way too out of hand.
Because they have to think about Cersei. Cersei has some goodness to her.
Yeah, she does. And even she helps Diana in this because when she discovers that Diana has the witch mark, she shuts down all of her attacks and goes, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Now here's something else. She then makes the deal. Help me get back my son.
Daughter.
Why did I say son? Daughter.
Yeah, there you go.
Because they left that hanging.
Yeah, exactly. You can make Hecate at first had Cersei working for her because she says, I will bring back your child.
Yep, and then what happened after Infinite Crisis? Ares took him. Or it was Ares, right?
I think it was Ares, yeah.
Yeah, Ares took him when the gods fled. And then we haven't seen him since.
Yeah, exactly. So you could definitely play around with that. The point is that's the other thing Wonder Woman needs, because if you do that, you then expose Wonder Woman and her world to people that are reading Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, any book, any writers that want to tack on to it.
I'll be honest, and I'm taking this from Tom King, but when he started Batman, having Batman actually try and prevent a plane from crashing, even if it meant sacrificing his own life. Now, well, have it be super. We open up with Wonder Woman saving a plane from falling, something that Superman would do.
Yeah, exactly. And then again,
you don't get enough of that. You don't get enough of her stopping bank robberies or anything like that, do we?
No, we don't. And the other thing, this is where my re-Perezing idea comes in. You reposition her world so it's like when she was a superhero. Because let me put it this way: post-crisis Wonder Woman, for the most part, was the superhero Wonder Woman.
And here's what we could do. We open up first with Diana just being Diana. Let's go with the idea of her being Diana Prince. Now, she can still be an ambassador, but she has a Diana Prince identity. Where
Especially
no one knows.
Since here's the thing, the ambassador would work perfectly now because you can make it where, because the Amazons were so separate from man's world, that's how the Sovereign was able to make people believe that the Amazons were threats.
But here's the other thing. We have Wonder Woman be the ambassador. Diana Prince can be her assistant, her representative.
So it's like she's her own representative?
So that way she can go to a place where people can, as Diana, and people will treat her differently than they would Wonder Woman.
Yeah, exactly.
But
exactly. You can use all those villains.
But here's what I'm then. But yeah, we see her just going about her normal life. And then she thinks back to when she told the people on the island she's leaving, and they're giving her grief. Like, why are you doing this? And then she's like, because I've been distanced myself from humanity too long. So you're never coming back to the island? I never said that. But I think I come back here too often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
We agree. That is a problem.
Yeah, and because like the fact that that they don't really have her in her own fictional city like Gateway in the comics, regular comics, that's a problem because it makes her feel less grounded for people.
And again, they just keep her going around the world. It's like the world became her city.
And I'm like, there's even Superman has Metropolis, Batman has Gotham. Every Justice Leaguer has a place where they hang out.
Yeah. Now, granted, while even Hal might mostly stay in space, he still has Coast City.
Yeah, it even Aquaman has like Amnesty Bay.
Yeah. Now him, because he's the ruler of Atlantis, you more and his family is there, you more understand it. But with Diana kind of needs it, I think, more so than Arthur. Because here's the other thing: Arthur did have an upbringing above sea, so much like Clark, he's used to it. He hasn't lost it. Diana did not have that upbringing.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what you need to do, and you need to actually you need to because if they start doing in this direction, which does involve getting rid and by re-Perezing, I want to be clarifying what I mean. You age up Steve and don't have him be a love interest. That's the first part. Because that's again, you take away that temptation and you make this an editorial edict. She will not have a love interest, at least for this phase of the character.
By the way, Punk, we understand, and he'll probably roll off soon, either 40 or 50.
50 is the max, I think.
50 is the max. 50 is the max.
Yeah, but so the other thing they need to do, get rid of Trinity. Or severely. Because here's the thing. Here's why I say get rid of Trinity. Because she requires more work than I think DC is willing to do.
Okay, not counting Trinity. I'm just focused on the overall problem she's had for a long time.
Bring back the embassy. At the very least, bring back the embassy.
Bring back the embassy, yes. But like I said, I do think she needs to be Diana Prince, but not have her be a secret agent.
The other thing, in terms of
but that was the problem. That was the big shooting themselves in the foot with that idea. They're like, how can she relate to humanity if she's being a secret agent?
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, so then you get to, speaking of her being an icon with events, here's the thing about this. We understand that Wonder Woman, in some ways, is a political character. But the event, at least one event, if they give her an event, you have to make this as neutral as possible because you need as many people on board, because if she gets a good event, guess what? Then more people start buying her book.
Yep. NJ, I would have to disagree with that because here's why. When she's just Diana Mascara, she's just used to the things on the island. That doesn't give her a comparison to humanity.
Yeah, and that's what people want, unfortunately.
Well, she kind of needs it, if you ask me. Diana's just been so on all the time.
Mm-hmm. Robert made me think it's Diana having a public identity, but have
bring
her
that
work.
Back.
You could bring that back as well. That'll be fun.
Have her have a side job besides working at the embassy.
Yeah, exactly. You could even do that. Oh, I got it. What you could do, maybe have her do the Ms. Marvel job that Carol had, where she was the editor of a feminist magazine.
Something like that. So anything to get her. And if I would say this, do not put her in Washington, D.C. That's way too tempting.
Yeah, but NJ, Geralt does not have a history of having a secret identity. That's the difference.
And here's the other thing. That's Wonder Woman's true name, Diana Mascara. If we're talking about giving her an alter ego of Diana Prince.
Yeah, exactly.
Where she's a normal human woman, not an Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's again, that's again. While I vehemently disagree, this is what I think Jeff was trying to refer to in Infinite Crisis when a Golden Age 1D says you've never been human. I think
that was an intent to try and bring back her secret identity, and then Alan Heinberg took it in the spy direction.
Yeah, exactly. But it's
which made it pointless.
Yeah, exactly. But it is all about truth. That's the thing with the Prince identity.
But you could talk to Clark about that, and when he's like, "I never lie. You lie about being Clark."
He just deflects. She's the truth. She can't lie or hide her real self.
Who says she can't lie?
Yeah, and it's like, again, she's not lying. She's just not telling the full. I know, lie of omission.
Yeah, there's a lie of omission. Again, I'll be honest, that train of thought of, oh, you're lying is what BMB did with Superman.
And we know anything BMB did with Superman, not a good thing.
Yeah, so if you're going too strict by that.
Yeah, if you go too far with that, you're never going to be able to make that work.
Yep. So here's the thing. Basically, and again, it's hard for her to keep the identity.
Yeah,
like exactly. At first it's easy, but it goes on. It becomes harder, and then she asks Clark and Bruce, "How do you do it?"
Yeah, exactly.
And again, gives them a nice moment between the two.
Also, more writers use the one. That's the other thing. Again. You can never have writers. You should never have writers that say, "I don't want to use this. I don't want to use this. I don't want to use this."
Yep. Wait a minute.
Timo says, "I do not like the DC boss battle. You would have had one woman against Sonja that wasn't really a fight. The same goes.
They were never meant to be real fights. They were meant to be samplers."
Yeah, that's kind of what it was, and because there were other stories in the book, they couldn't even devote it to that much.
Vampirella got the shaft.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing, I just realized something. You know what you could do with the Wonder Girls? Have Yara be the Wonder Girl of Themyscira, because she doesn't have much of a life away from it. Have Cassie be Donna. Well, Donna's become her own woman. She doesn't really need to be Wonder Girl anymore. And have Cassie be the current Wonder Girl.
That works.
Of Man's Land.
You could have Donna be like Troya or something like that.
Or just have her be Donna Troy. She doesn't have to have an identity.
That's true. Yeah, exactly. That does work, I think.
I gotta say, I'm so surprised they've kept her husband and kid dead.
Yeah, I know. You think eventually they would undo that, or at least like not.
I think it's because it's too ingrained in her character by now.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like Roy's drug history. You kind of have to keep it.
Yeah, it's too much of a thing there. Also, she needs her own death of the family of death. I don't think she. No.
She had it twice.
Oh, but no. Cameron means one big event that every DC fan would know. That's correct.
Yes, that's why we think Witching Hour could be that event.
Yeah, just have Hecate take over and like go through stuff. That's
but
what
having be Diana is immune to it because of her
previous experience with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you need one bigger. And again, you can't have any writers say you have to. I don't want to use this. I don't want to use this. I don't want to use this. That cannot work anymore. Yes, no. And her mother was Amazons are crucial. No, you would still use the Amazons. Don't get me wrong. You would still use them.
That's why we're saying she stays away from the island, but she's not gone permanently. She just stays more in Man's Land because she needs it.
Yeah, it's like she still regularly visits the island. Obviously, you can't get rid of that.
Yeah, you definitely can't get rid of that. But at the same time, you still need her to get some time away.
Yeah, but again, the villain, you have to lean into her more fantastical. Like, remember when she was a pirate?
Yeah, like some people be like, what?
Yeah, she was a pirate in the Meslo Lobes run because she traveled to a planet that was being enslaved. She got enslaved, led a slave revolt, and then became a pirate.
Exactly.
There's so much of Wonder Woman that they could be using, but too many writers, not just King, he is just the most recent symptom of a larger problem.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Rocco wanted it, Rebirth Man. Yeah, but he didn't bring back anything really significant in that.
Right.
He just half-assed it, essentially. By the way, according to the standings, Wonder Woman reached the finals, but the writers replaced her with Darkseid because of the planned storyline.
Yeah. I've never heard that.
No, it means in the DCKO standings and yeah. So I'm like,
to be fair though, that no one knew Darkseid was going to be coming in.
At least she made it pretty much to the end.
Yep.
So
and let's be honest, having Darkseid be the one to take her out kind of makes some sense.
Yeah.
You could buy that at least.
To a degree, I'll give you that. But yeah, it's like that's what DC really needs to do with Wonder Woman, and they have to put in the writers that will do that. You from now on, honestly, you cannot have writers that work best with like very grounded characters.
Oh
You
no.
cannot have that anymore. King showed that's a crappy idea.
Agreed.
Again, there were writers that work best on other characters. King, he works best on grounded like Bat characters. He works best on Bat characters or characters associated like that, like with Penguin. However, when it comes to this, you cannot under any honestly, even Superman.
Mm-hmm.
TMO says, but anyway, but yeah. So ask us any quick questions you want about this topic. What do you think Wonder Woman needs? By the way, but how can we make Grail or even Veronica her top villain so she can stand with Joker or Lex? Because the first person people would say is Cheetah, and she doesn't work as her top villain, in my opinion. Cheetah does. It's just that you need to stop having DC creatives try and like redeem her. Just make her a straight up villain.
Agreed.
The other thing, Grail or Veronica, just have them have like a big storyline where they like completely tear apart Diana's life to a degree, and then eventually they become the villain. Wait, he made Wonder Woman Captain America in power level. Yeah, in terms of her getting hit, literally hit with the American flag. Yeah, that was stupid.
Agreed.
But yeah, what other questions? Yeah, but that's the main issue that I think DC falls into, is that, again, to your point, they've forgotten that she's a superhero first. She's still an icon, don't get me wrong, but the fact that, again, they keep being obsessed only with who she sleeps with, or like,
well, that's more the fan base who worries that.
Yeah. Do you have a podcast plan about Paramount? That was last night, TMO.
That was last night. Yeah, that was last night.
Last night on CLD. But
to which we said it could go. Let's wait and see if it actually goes through or not.
Yeah, because there are multiple regulatory like hoops that they have to jump through in order for this to be finalized.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in terms of like, you guys can ask us whatever you guys want to ask about Wonder Woman in terms of stuff, and then yeah, it's like that's really the main thing, and it's again a lot of it is based on who they put on the character, because again, I think Kelly understands the need for Wonder Woman to be a superhero. Case in point, there's like the half of the freaking annual is a montage of her just saving people and being a superhero.
Yep, and Adams, I think, can do it because that's all he's been doing on his books.
Yeah, everyone's being superheroes. That's the way you really make that work. Would you guys say her having her own animated series would help her a lot more? Well, again, it depends. Well, it depends on what they do in the animated series. Because if it's just more of like the iconness of Wonder Woman, then it's like it makes the problem even worse.
Exactly.
But it's like it hyper depends on like this on like the care on the like the creatives. That's the main thing, and the creatives that I think did it pretty well. I may have my issues with pun intended with post-crisis Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm. But let's be honest, that's where a lot of the characterization we know of her to be came from.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that's. Post-crisis Wonder Woman is, again, what everyone thinks of when they think of Wonder Woman nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
At the very least. So DC really ought to like lean into that and stop trying to undo it. That's the other problem. They keep trying to like undo it or improve on it. Or like the creators keep going, I can do better. No, you can't.
It's good, but it can be better.
It's good. Or in King's case, it's crap. And it could be much better, but you have to be off the book. But anyway. Anyway. But yeah, it's like the other part that they really need to stop giving her a love interest. Stop forcing. Because again, when you look at post-crisis, yes, each run tried to give her something, but at least in my opinion, it never felt like the character's being undermined in the favor of the love interest. Like with Steve, I'm sorry, that's what's happened now since post-Flashpoint.
Agreed.
Would you guys like to see Christopher Priest write Wonder Woman? What do you think?
I could, but I don't know if everyone would agree to that.
What do you mean?
Well, given some of the stuff like her doing stuff with Aquaman because they're both queen, princess, and king.
Oh yeah,
he is married, but he is married now, so I don't think he'll touch that.
She is married.
He is.
Aquaman. Oh yeah.
So I don't think he would touch that now.
And then he is the writer that basically had Wonder Woman go underwater while Arthur was on the surface and made it look like she was giving him a BJ.
Yep, and he said next time I should be with Sean.
Yeah. Thanks, Christopher Priest. Thanks. But it's like so far the only two writers that I would really trust is King and Kelly. No, Adams and Kelly. And the thing about it, Kelly may not want to do both. Let's be honest. And
no one has done both before. That's the big point.
Yeah, and Adams wants to write Wonder Woman. He has a pitch for her.
Yep.
So I'm just like, just give. Honestly, just give it. I could see Adams get like if King leaves at 40, they just tell DC just tells them, hey, do you want to do a story for 10 issues?
And by the way, he has not left.
No, he hasn't left. No. He didn't write the last 2 issues. He's still on the main book.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's writing Wonder War. Now, if you're asking us what do we think of Mouse Man? She brought her kid into a war zone. That's all I'm going to say on that. I think she will be more... okay, and that's fine, NJ. My point is, I'm not convinced yet, but the point is, she and Jeremy are the writers that I think would work very well with doing that superhero version of Wonder Woman.
Here's the other issue. We don't know if editorial will want it.
That is a big...
Editorial is more likely to be the ones who are like, nope, we want different voices on the books.
That is very true.
They don't want, because again, Nate, you can't, look throughout all comic history. Unless they were on the same type of different teams within the same brand, you have never had a writer being on 2 radically different versions of a character and then from 2 different universes.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be a
I can think of. Now they did it after each other, like they were done with one and then jumped over to the main one. That's different. But at the same time, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now, writing them on a team book, that's completely different.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm talking Marvel, I can say his name. Bendis writing Spidey while he was writing Ultimate Spidey. He only wrote Spidey while he was on Avengers. Nowhere else.
Exactly.
And that was some of the best Spidey writing we had.
Yes, exactly. Hey, what's up, RJ? But yeah, it's like that's the big issue. It's like now again, it does. So what we're saying is Kelly may want to, but now there is a marketing like advantage to doing it, where it's like from the creative team that brought you Absolute Wonder Woman, there is that thing. Yeah. But again, it's like NJ. Here's the thing about that. Yes, but editorial may be like, while it may sell better, it's more like they want differing people on the books.
They want a different voice. They don't want identical voices. And again, we don't know if Kelly can be like, I'm good because I can't think of any. I got to think that because that could also lead to crisscrossing.
Yeah, and that wouldn't really work so well. So anyway.
Yeah, because here's the thing, NJ. Here's the thing, NJ. You don't know if she can handle doing both. You don't know.
Yeah, exactly. All right, TMO says, what are some good comic book arcs you liked on Sonja? Well, there was Conan Red Sonja was pretty fun.
Oh, Vampirella, Red Sonja meets Betty and Veronica.
Yeah, exactly. They also have a motion comic for Red Sonja called Queen of Plagues. That was really good.
That's the Gail Simone run.
That's the Gail Simone run, exactly. And
yep. And NJ, just because they think about money does not mean they're going to pull something that kind of stupid.
Well, it wouldn't be stupid.
Yeah, not stupid, but pull a stunt like that.
Yeah, it doesn't mean they're going to do it. That's my point. Well, and again, there is a marketing like advantage to putting her on that. And yes, she is talented enough. We know that. We're not saying she's not. But it's like, again, it's like, like this way. If I were in her position, I'm not so sure I would do that because it's like, yeah, I'm like, okay, do I really want, because it's like, it could be like, did I already do this storyline or was this for Absolute or something like that?
Exactly. It can lead to confusion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
It's the well of confusion. And yeah, look, there's being talented. But again, if you're writing 2 different books simultaneously, and that's the other thing. she'd be writing 2 books a month practically of the same character.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to cause confusion.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, in terms of like, so that's roughly how they need to treat this character, because otherwise otherwise Wonder Woman is just going to keep stagnating.
Yeah, she needs to be a superhero, even at least once.
At least once. At least give us once.
Give her a year. Give her a year. Give us a year of her as a superhero.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Talent is key regardless. Well, we know that. But I didn't know Wonder Woman. I mean, Sonya's authors had a golden rule that she shouldn't be in a relationship or she'll become an ordinary person. It's not necessarily that. By the way, Priest is actually currently writing the Red Sonja book.
And Vampirella at the same time.
Yeah. By the way, it's a really good Sonja book. So it's basically like Sonya's dead, but there's this woman that like gets teleported to Hyboria and turns out is like Sonja reincarnated.
Sonja Reborn and Red Sonja Reborn. I'm aware of that.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm enjoying it a lot.
I don't know that canon with everything else. It might be its own story.
It probably is like a.
But yeah, the fact that he started with Vampirella, which was meant to be a short story, that just took off.
Yeah. It's like, hey, if he likes it, that works.
And hey, she ain't black, so he doesn't. But yet, funny thing is, she's not black, but what's the first thing he did? He gives her a black psychiatrist to talk to.
Yeah, I know.
Look at how he's not against putting in black characters. He's just against being pigeonholed.
Yeah, because that's what he ran into at, I think it was either DC or Marvel or both.
Both.
Yeah, it's both. They would because he's black, they would only let him write black characters.
Like I said, hey, you want to write Firestorm? Oh yes, I want to write Ronnie Raymond. Oh, we have a new one. Oh, who is he? He's a black guy. Forget it.
It's like, oh, so that's why you want me to write this character.
Yeah, he was, from what he told me, he was pissed.
Yeah,
he wanted to write Ronnie. He wanted to write Ronnie.
It's like, again.
Yeah, that's the thing. He wanted to write the character that had a history.
It's very like similar in some ways to when Ta-Nehisi Coates showed up at Marvel and wanted to write Spider-Man, but they're like, no, you're Ta-Nehisi Coates. You have to write Captain America.
Yeah, and here's the other thing is, you know what people forget? When you replace race bait or replace a character, you need, and what you're replacing a new character with someone who had long history.
Yeah, exactly. By NGS, Al Ewing would handle a Wonder Woman run.
I think he could do all right.
Based upon his Thor, yeah, I could say he would do all right with that because he would
lean upon his Thor, yes.
Yeah, because it's like it's like, yeah, go ahead.
Mortal Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah.
What if she loses being Wonder? Oh, I could see him doing the whole her losing being Wonder Woman and having to work her way back up.
She loses her powers and has to prove that she has that she doesn't need the powers to be an Amazon.
Wait, playing Elvira, unless Cassandra Peterson passes the torch on, that ain't happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because Sweeney has knockers does not mean she's going to be every big-chested lady.
Let's be honest, that's the only reason why people fan cast her as Power Girl.
Do I think she could act the part? Probably. With that, maybe.
Maybe, but let's be honest.
Elvira, Cassandra's never going to pass it on. She's going to keep hold on to that character until she dies. Mm-hmm. God forbid. Knock on wood.
Exactly. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. But yeah, going back to Al Ewing on Wonder Woman, if you were to do that, because the thing about it is that Ewing made Thor both a god and a superhero. That's the other thing that I really like.
Definitely.
Can he handle a supporting cast and villains, do something cool with them? I think he could. He's doing that with Thor right now, and honestly, his Thor run is one of the best.
Agreed.
I'm definitely enjoying it. Timo says most people wanted to play the Black Cat, but there was 2 specific reasons for that, and it's on her chest.
One on the left and one on the right.
One on the left, one on the right. Exactly. That's why. What you guys have to understand about that.
Yep, but
yeah, I think that is a good place to leave it. So yeah, that's what they need to do to fix Wonder Woman, and if they do that, I think that Wonder Woman has a possibility of in terms of sales, taking her place alongside Superman and Batman.
Because she needs it. She really needs it.
If they're gonna keep treating her, if they're gonna keep calling her a member of the Trinity, the third pillar of DC, they need to treat her like that.
Now, here's the thing. I don't know if Wilson, that she wrote her as the icon because that's what she sees the character. If she was told to do it, it could be either or with someone like Wilson, let's be honest. But I can tell you, Robinson came kind of close.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there have been writers that have come close, but none since post-crisis have really. Honestly, you know who wrote her as like a superhero? I would say Charles Soule.
To a point, yes, I would say that was during his stuff. Yes,
compared to Azzarello.
True.
Which I still like the Azzarello run, but it was very much like she's like a warrior.
And oh boy, and then Azzarello had to you had the Finches double down on it.
I really can't stand that thing.
Nothing against the Finches. Nothing against the Finches.
Brittany should go to. No, I'm more of they should transfer her more to the Superman office because again, this is what Robert and I said when we said how we would fix Wonder Woman because she's a good editor. It's just not necessarily on Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I mean, again, remember NJ. Remember, she was on there when Orlando and Clune and Conrad were on. I'll take that for what you will, but she was at least competent.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like. So I'm like, just put her on a different book, and I think she would do a better
now, unless
job.
You mean she has to go from Wonder Woman, yes, agree.
Yeah, I would say fired, so on that.
If you're saying fired, no.
I don't think we're at that point. She's good on other books to the point. If she were crappy, if she were crappy on everyone else, then that would be an issue.
Paul Kaminsky, he's already busy with other books. That's the big problem here. You'd have to have a major editorial reshuffling for this.
Which could happen, but it's not likely currently.
Yeah. Brittany's here until King leaves. She's here until King leaves.
You know, it'd be interesting, Robert, with the Paramount deal, if it doesn't change soon, I get the feeling that when Paramount comes in, there will be a reshuffling.
If they care about the comics.
If they care, yeah, exactly. Here's the thing. It's either if they care about it or if they're told to increase their sales, because I could see them doing an editorial reshuffling before they do a reboot.
That's true. Now, here's something else. I just realized, here's the big thing I wonder. Is Paramount really buying it for DC? I mean, they're buying for the IPs, but are they also buying it for the TV networks?
I mean, they're buying everything.
Yeah, but remember, one of the other things they're buying is CNN. I think that's one of the things they're really looking forward to more than they are DC Comics publication.
I guess you could kind of say
what I'm saying is they have other things that they're going to probably be focusing on before they even get down to the comics.
All right, I'll give you that. But anyway, so I think that's a good place to leave it. So as for Comics League, in a little bit at 9:30, Britt and I will be going live for Super Wonder Legacy, where we are going to be comparing Superman and Wonder Woman to Hippolyta's like past romances, like Hercules in the Perez run and Zeus and the other characters. And yes, we will be talking about Philippus and stuff because she counts.
And by the way, I will be at 8:00 starting Resident Evil Requiem.
Do it, brother. And then as for Amazon Answers, I may do it on Monday instead of tomorrow. But the point is, the topic is I'll be talking about the Wonder Woman from Batman Ninja 2. And then Amazon Wonder Woman Wednesday, I'm gonna be doing the reverse of last week's, where I'm going to talk about now why the Wonder Woman fan base seems so far to have adopted Absolute Steve Trevor instead of like rejecting the Tom King one. So that's going to be really fun. And then for Under Two Capes, we are going to be talking about, Robert, you want to tell them?
DCKO.
Yeah, because DCKO is ending this week. So we're going to talk about the entire event, what we thought about it. And
it's one of the better events, I'll still say.
It's one of the small scale events. I'm like, okay, that's good. And just says that they might be a few days away. Okay, fine. And we'll be here when you're back, NJ, 100%. Yep. And thank you for letting us know. But anyway, stay at work, everyone. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lane. And bye, Crom. Oh, by the way, next week's movie night is the Jason Momoa Conan movie. And then the week after that, we do Brightburn.
Yep.
But anyway, stay at work, everyone.